These sick, scarred, you see, we call them the stricken. After the Nahatan flu ravaged their bodies, the people of Elyswer cast them out. They came to Srendar's cradle once for healing, but the king's vizier would have put our adeptorium to the torch if he knew we harbored the sick. You should know the reason they hate us. It is my fault. They wish to burn our home because I cast them into Bandar's litter to die. Wait, Silujo must speak to you. Before we go further, we must speak. The Bandar gate lies beyond that door. The Stricken's leader as well, Vasby's true father. His love and sorrow has turned to hatred for me. Silujo has no illusions. Death waits for this one through this passage, for the actions of his past. Silujo does not fear this death if it will save Vasby. Before it happens, though, this one must ask. You now know the story of Srendar's cradle, of the sick left to die. When this one is gone, Vasby will have questions. What will you tell her? Silujo thanks you, Walker. Choosing who lives and who dies weighs on the soul, but as a healer and a leader, I must make hard decisions. If Silujo had to do it all over again, he would make the same choice. Now come, Vasby waits. Vasby, you are unharmed, yes?
No. My daughter is no longer yours to corrupt and death.
No! Silujo, no! This is my fault. Srendar, he breathes, but faintly. Vasby will take him back to the cradle. My hands won't stop shaking. The Stricken's leader, Elyswer, wields horrible magic. He told me that the adepts took me from him, that they stole everything from him. He said Yes, he said he left me gifts so that I would not forget him. But seeing me grow closer to Silujo, closer to the Order, twisted his tail to the breaking point. He lured Vasby here to Banda's litter. Now he plans to burn the Adeptorium. Please, Walker, if there is any way to spare Elyswer, have mercy. Vasby knows he is mad, but to lose two fathers at once. Srendar, help me. This one is so lost. Moons, why did Silujo come here? He must have known the Stricken would kill him. This one only needed saving because she disobeyed Silujo. He came here because of Vasby. He dies because of Vasby. This one knows. Elyswer told me about how he and his wife, my mother, came to the cradle with a tiny Vasby in their arms. He described the long march to Bandar's litter and the cold, moonless nights that followed. More suffering on my account. How could it not be Vasby's fault? Had Elyswer's wife not carried Vasby in her womb, they never would have come to Srendar's cradle. Had Vasby not sought to restore the water, Silujo would live. Please, just find Elyswer. Vasby must work.
My vengeance! Come thee! I'm sorry.
You return. Good. Vasby already loses too much today. Silujo did not... Vasby could not... He is gone. His soul wanders the sands behind the stars now. The other adepts mourn for him as Vasby does, but they do not know the truth of his death or the cost of the water you restored. But you know. Vasby knows. And it may be too much for her to bear. Vasby loved this place. She idolized Silujo and the other healers. She prayed to Srendar for the strength and wisdom to serve as well as those who came before. But Srendar's cradle is a lie. My dream is a lie. What is that? The people of Elyswer think that the adepts of the cradle worked miracles to stave off the flu. Now I see that they only hid the sick in the wilderness to let them die. How can this one just ignore that? How can I dedicate my life to such a place? Yes, this one will stay, but I will not lie about what happened here. Silujo made an impossible choice, but the people deserve to hear the truth. Thank you, Walker. We only just met. But you are the closest thing to family that Vasby has left. Brothers, sisters, Vasby must speak about Silujo's passing. Before he passed, this one learned the truth of the stricken, of the role we healers played in their suffering. No longer. In Shrendar's name, we must go to Bandar's litter. We must help the stricken. And we must try to heal this age-old wound, for their sake and for ours.
You're new, yes? Here's some advice. Don't ask a Senchrat for permission to ride bareback. It is weirder for us than it is for you.
There are many varieties of Sench-cat steeds. Sench lions are common in Anequina, but you find more Sench leopards down in Palatine.
The moon hallowed. Bright moons guide you on your path.
my helpful friend. Rigert is pleased to see you return from the desert with your limbs intact. Did you find the misplaced package in Riverhold? Ah, Rigert forgot about the fee. You will find it shocking, but Rigert forgets many things. Especially on the days he drinks mead. Which is all of the days. Don't be worried. Rigert will pay you back as soon as we finish this diplomatic mission. Canon Reeve Jusdo of Alabaster. I am Rigert of Windhelm. On behalf of the Skald King, I present you with a gift of peace from the Nords to bring our cultures closer.
Is your gift rancid cabbage? Because it smells like rancid cabbage.
Not at all! Rigert brought our finest snowy saber-cat coats. Although they may have been stored near cabbage. And the cabbage may have gone bad.
Your gift is clothes made from slaughtered cats? This isn't a peace offering, it is a war crime!
These are the finest coats in all of Windhelm. Who wouldn't want to be wrapped in our warm and luscious... cat skins?
Tell your Skald King that if he wants our war to continue, Queen Irene will be happy to oblige.
Rigert's message will be heard by Queen Irene, leader of the Aldmeri Dominion? Rigert feels so important.
farmhands needed at Mother's farm! You saw Roxargo's flyers, yes? Mother had him post them across the valley. Help wanted for Sweetwater Farmstead. Ah, Sweetwater, our home sweet home. Are you interested in a job? We need more farmhands. You see, our farmhands have gone missing lately. So, we need more. You ask a lot of questions, yes? Mother just told me to stand here and find more farmhands. So I did. You have questions? Talk to Mother at our farm. Her name is Kaitou, though you should call her ma'am. That is only polite, yes? The farm is just up the road north of here. And don't worry if Mother seems cross. Roxargo's brother came home for a visit, and they have been arguing. The farmhands left. This one does not know why. Mother was very upset, so Roxargo offered to hang the flyers. And look, it worked! You came to help our farm. This one remembers that Verani was very unhappy. Kept talking about wanting to leave, but she is the only one, he thinks. If Verani does not return, Roxargo gets to keep her hand near her. So he has that at least. Yes, it is a moon sugar farm. Very big, very busy. Well, was busy. Roxargo is the only one left to help now. His brother, well, brother only visits. Not very good at farm work. Oh, yes. Mother wants brother to stay and help with the farm. It is our family's farm, after all. But brother, well, he does not wish this. Roxargo does not know why. What sleeker home can be found than in Merryvale?
Did you hear that Razandar is back in town? Oh, it's been years since Majadi saw him. And now he's back, handsomer than ever. This one didn't even think it was possible.
Kaitou means no rudeness, but she hasn't time for visitors today. Best to seek company elsewhere, yes? It is true. Workers were happy and plentiful, but now, moons be praised if half our workforce remains. You look clever. Perhaps you could investigate our missing farmhands? Mizun, owner of Fragrant Moon's plantation, sought to buy our farm after the last harvest. This one refused. Kaitou suspects he now bribes away her workers in order to make this one desperate enough to sell. So kind of you to offer. But take Kaitou's eldest son with you, yes? He returned home recently from Moon's Nowhere, and now he lies about like a slug. Find the lazy Khajiit in the cave up the hill, just north of the farm. It's about time Kaitou's layabout son helped around here. He may be clever, yes, but when it comes to farm work, you would never believe he was born and raised in Merryvale. At least Roxargo has the decency to help his poor mother. He is the oldest farmer in this valley. Been growing cane since this one was a kitten, and Kaitou is now, not as young as she once was. But make no mistake, Mizun's mind remains as sharp as a serpent's fang. It is possible. No workers means no crops, no profits. Who benefits from this? Mizum, who has wanted to buy Sweetwater for many years. No. Accusing Mizum with no proof would only give him an opportunity to smear Gidea's name. Bad for business. That is why she sends you to find evidence. Only then can she confront Mizum. Yes, he hasn't lifted a paw around the farm since he came home. He's a traveler, he tells me. But where does he go? What does he do? All he says is that he cannot say. Just like his father, that one. For better and worse. Gidea loves her little rascal, of course. But why can't he stay at home and help around the farm? As the eldest, this farm should go to him when this one... Oh, no. Apologies. Gidea did not mean to bring up such matters.
Mother, Dragonguard found a new farmhand.
Yes, sweet one, thank you. We're going to look into our troubles right after they wake up your brother.
Brother is still sleeping? Dragonguard rose at dawn and has been working hard all day.
If only your brother were as dutiful as you.
What? Who is there? This one's head may ache, but that does not mean he cannot defend himself. Five Claw? Raz thought he recognized you. Moons only know what brings you to this backwater place, but it is always good to see a friend. Raz would offer you wine, but he has unfortunately drank it all. Perhaps you have some? She would trust Raz with such a task? That does not sound like Mother. Unless she just wants to get Raz out of this cave. No, don't answer that. Well, anything is better than farm work, yes? Raz will be happy to help. Mizum has wanted to get his paws on Sweetwater for years. If Mother can't keep the farm operating, Mizum can buy it and gain control of the valley's moon sugar cane. We need proof. Meet Raz outside the Fragrant Moon's plantation. At last! Something here that's worthy of Raz's attention. Let's get to the Fragrant Moon's plantation and see what we can dig up. Queen Irene insisted that Raz take a vacation after his last mission. Even the eye of the Queen needs to blink now and then, she told him. So Raz returned to Elyswer to spend some quality time with his family. Political as usual. Raz wanted to stick around and help clean up after the sea slaughs and Daedric incursions, but the proxy queen requested I leave the island. Too bad. This one was hoping to get to know her a little better. The new man is settling in quite nicely. Unfortunately, trouble here in northern Elyswer has meant that the Speaker hasn't been able to provide as much guidance as he might like. Garesh Ri has his hands full with the usurper queen and the dragons. Of course! What do you wish to speak about? You have met Raz's family, yes? Mother has never approved of this one's occupation. She suspects he is a wandering beggar or some such nonsense. As you can imagine, this puts quite a strain on our relationship. Roxargo is... he has been at Mother's side for far too long, tied to her apron strings. Besides, he has a particular disposition. Raz watched him lick an entire bowl of marbles once, all because this one told him that one of them was candy. You do realize that Raz's position as an Eye of the Queen is a secret, yes? Only those who need to know can ever be told the truth. My family? They don't need to know. Besides, they would never believe such a thing. They know that some young high elf convinced Raz to leave home and go on an adventure. But that was before Irene was queen. Mother thinks that her eldest son abandoned her to chase after a pretty face. She isn't completely wrong. Mizum's farm occupies the southern side of the valley. The big house with the walls around it. Old Mizum is a miser. Doesn't want anyone interrupting him while he counts his gold. Raz will meet you there.
Everyone says the farmhands are just leaving. But why haven't any of them said farewell? Why do they leave their possessions behind? There's something in the sugarcane. Cesare knows it.
Raz is glad you made it. He was about to proceed without you. Now remember, we need to be stealthy. The fewer guards that notice us, the fewer guards we'll have to kill, yes? Mercenaries, actually. In addition to gates and walls, Mizum hired the Red Hands to patrol his land. They're not the type to ask questions before they try to kill you. Best to slip in unseen. Ledgers, documents, contracts, anything that proves that Mizum bribed the farmhands. Or perhaps we will grow lucky and find a journal. Over the years, Raz has discovered that many villains enjoy documenting their nefarious plans. One more thing. Try to avoid unnecessary murder, yes? Not that the Red Hands deserve mercy, of course. But any messes you make, Raz will need to clean up. And Raz is on vacation. Besides, Mother wouldn't take kindly to killing the neighbors. Lead the way, Five Claw, but be stealthy. Raz will be right behind you. It's likely the mercenaries stick to regular patrol patterns. We can take advantage of that if we're observant. Just watch where they go and which direction they look. And if you spot a place to hide, use it. Mercenaries from Pelitin. Clawless thugs who will do anything for a price. Thievery, kidnapping, even murder. They also deal in the slave trade. Mizum must be truly desperate to hire them. This creature was attacked by something unnatural. That much is clear.
I called the guards and they're on their way.
First, Muzum loses moon sugar. Now his farmers won't work. What nonsense.
There is something out there, Mizum. Some sort of beast.
Bah! A beast! This one sees no beast. All he sees are lazy Khajiit who make up foolish lies.
The farmers of Maryvale are... Let's return to Mother's farm and discuss what we learned. Old Mizum is dealing with missing moon sugar, scared farmhands, and a mysterious beast. Perhaps he and Mother suffered the same problem, yes? A creature prowls the sugarcane fields. Something far deadlier than a terror bird. If this is true, then Raz fears the missing farmhands reside in the belly of this beast. And so will many others, if we don't put a stop to it. You must visit Honeybreeze Homestead, another moon sugar farm in the valley. If Raz is right, Jedolthol will be suffering from the same problem as Mizum and Mother. The farmstead is just across the bridge, on the southern side of the valley. In the meantime, Raz will try to convince his family to stay out of the fields. Perhaps they will be reasonable today. That would be a welcome change, yes? Anything that proves this beast exists. Corpses, tracks, strange residue. With luck, Jedolthol will have even seen this creature. Him or one of his 3 lovely daughters. Ah, Jedolthol's daughters. Raz wonders if they still remember him. Does Raz seem like the type to kiss and tell? Well, not while sober, at least. Now that this one thinks about it, he may not have left things on the best footing in regards to the daughters, particularly when it comes to certain promises. Raz admits to succumbing to the folly of youth in his younger days, though after so many years, this one assumes they have forgotten about such things.
Rosin, your mother sends you to find our missing farmhands, and this is where you end up? Our house?
We already searched Mizum's plantation. Raz came back to warn you about...
Excuses. And this one thought you learned more in your travels than which tavern served the cheapest ale.
You better go, Five Claw. This may take some time.
It cornered Jedolthol, chased his daughters into the field. You have to help them. A monster. I heard it. It roared loud enough for Alkosh to hear. I ran, but the noise must have startled the local animals as well. A lion nearly took my arm. Please, you must help Jedolthol. He is hiding just ahead.
Quickly, go on ahead and find Jedolthol. Raz will help our friend.
Moons above, let Jedolthol's family be safe. Please, please, Jedolthol begs. You must rescue his 3 daughters from that horrid beast. They should just be west of here up the path. You must find them before that monster does. Jedolthol was only able to catch a glimpse of it as he ran. But what he saw was unnatural. It was an enormous beast, with a mouthful of fangs and a thick leathery hide. Oh, why has such a thing come to our peaceful home?
Have you seen my father, Jedolthol? I've been searching for him, but I wasn't able to make it very far. Thank the moons. And have you possibly seen my 2 sisters? I seek them as well. Then I must ask you to find them and ensure their safety as you have ensured mine. For now, I will make my way back to my father.
the beautiful Banji. It is good to see you alive and well.
At last you have returned to me. Oh, I knew you would keep your promise.
Ah, yes. Raz is keeping his promise, of course.
By the moons, you have to help me. A monster attacked our farm. My father ran, but I do not know what became of him. Oh, thank goodness. Have you seen my two sisters as well? We separated in our panic, and I fear for their safety. Oh, I'm happy to hear that, but I'm still worried about my remaining sister. Please, could you find her? Preferably before that monster does. Raz! You're here?
Of course. You are safe now, sweet Nura. Raz will get you to safety.
The two of us behind the mill reminds me of old times, old promises.
Let's talk about that later. Much later.
These beasts should thank the moons that they found me without my bow. I'd make quick work of them if I had it on hand. Have you seen my father, by chance? He's a kind man, but not very quick. I fear he may have come to harm. Of course, I'll make sure he stays safe. Have you also seen my sisters? I tried my best to lead them to safety, but they scattered in their panic. That's good to hear. I was going to seek them out myself, but the monster is still close by. I didn't wish to attract its attention. I've hunted in Maryvale all my life, but never have I seen a creature like this. Large and leathery, with glowing eyes and a mouth full of sharp teeth. Last I saw, it was headed to the cave further up the hill.
The fragrant Pascheroni. Raz is glad to see you safe.
Hello, Raz. I didn't know you were back in Maryvale.
Well, yes. Come, let Raz lead you to safety.
Very well, but do not think you can just slip away again. We have much to talk about.
Good, my pet. That should distract those farmers for quite a while. An intruder! Quick, Dolor, kill them at once!
Dark moons, a Daedra. Oh, Raz hates those things. Raz knew something was sour in Sweet Maryvale. Well, at least we know what happened to the missing farmhands. But why does a Daedra care about moon sugar? Then it is likely this mage must have summoned the Daedra. Wouldn't be too surprising if he was behind the missing moon sugar as well. Raz was able to question Jadathol, while you dealt with our large friend over there. Our neighbor has also lost moon sugar this season, yet has seen no thieves. Let us return to Mother's farm and examine her storage cellar. If Mazum and Jadathol have been robbed, then Mother is likely the next target. And with luck, her cellar will show evidence of the theft. Despite Mizum and Jadathol's vigilance, the thieves we seek were never seen. Raz means to discover just how this is possible.
There they are! Moons be praised. Thank you both. Because of your help, this one's family is safe.
Raz is so pleased to see you and your daughters unharmed. All 3 of your daughters.
Yes, Raz. And all 3 of us have been talking quite a bit about you.
Specifically how you seem to have made certain promises to all of us.
Do you remember, Razamdar? Oh, this one will love you forever. This one will come back for you soon. This one only has eyes for you.
What? Raz, is this true?
Now, Raz can explain everything.
It might be best if you leave now, Rook. You played no part in it.
Yeah.
Let us search for signs of thievery. And if Roz's family decides to poke their snouts in, ignore them. The less attention we give, the quicker they will leave. Raz sees nothing out of the ordinary.
This is where you search for the farmhands? Our cellar? What? Are they hiding in the walls?
Let's look somewhere else. That is a rather ornate tapestry for this cellar. Mother, did you hang this?
No, of course not. Who would Mother be trying to impress? The cellar rats?
A secret passage, eh? Raz thought he felt a draft in here. Just as Raz suspected. These caverns extend below the entire valley. Farmers used them to store tools and equipment before there was a series of cave-ins. They've been abandoned for decades. Raz was thinking the same thing. Given the size of these caverns, the thieves could have quite a large operation. Best if we move ahead quickly and see what we can find.
Well, look who we got here. Intruders. Oh, you're going to get in trouble. Why, you certainly have a lot of eyes. And they're different colors, too. Fancy that. Would you mind untying me? Itchy, and I just can't scratch. Don't know why Sivas tied me up. He's a mean mage. I'm a smuggler. I'm smuggling. Well, at the moment I'm tied up, obviously. We're making skooma, see? Lots of skooma. Only I tripped into a barrel. Clumsy me. And now I am feeling so good. Besides the itching, of course. And Sivas tying me up. Boss man! He does all sorts of nasty things. Summons Daedra, steals from the kitty farmers, ties me up. You should give him a talking to. He's down in the caverns somewhere. Oh, he'll be mad that you're here, though.
The caves branch here. You should follow the corridor, while Raz takes this side passage. We'll meet up farther ahead.
You think I left Cyrodiil for a few pieces of gold? We need to double our production. Time for stealth and subterfuge is ending. Soon we will launch a raid on the farms. suspicions. We'll find the one who killed your father.
There you are. Time to put an end to this skooma operation, yes? Sweet work, buddy. Now, let's get back to Mother's farm. Quite the investigation, yes? We infiltrated a heavily patrolled farmstead, saved 3 beautiful damsels, and dismantled the skooma operation. All in all, not a bad day's work. Ah, yes. Mother's docile screeching can lull Raz to sleep. Now, this one suspects that Mother would try to cheat you if you ask her for payment. So here, a reward from Raz's own pockets. Aren't you a lucky one?
Well, it seems you're good for something, at least.
Good for something? Raz took down an entire skooma operation for Jode's sake.
Razumdar, sir, I have an urgent message for you from Queen Irene.
A message for Raz? Ah! Who would waste the paper on him?
Raksarko, shush! Queen Irene? Razum, what is he talking about?
Raz's next assignment. It seems this one's vacation is over, Mother.
Already? But you only just arrived.
Well, Raz could stay for one last meal before he departs.
And letters? Will you write us letters?
Doesn't Raz always?
Kidea did not think Razum would be leaving so soon. But it seems he has important matters to attend to. Who is Kidea to deny the High Elf Queen? This one wonders, what exactly does her son do for the Queen? Yes, perhaps it is time to stop assuming the worst of this one's rascal. Easy as that may be, Kidea will cook a nice dinner for her family tonight. Some fresh salmon sprinkled with moon sugar, perhaps. Just the way Razum likes it.
Raksargo never gets letters from tiny elves. Why does brother get to have all the fun?
Seems that duty calls, thank the moons. Raz does not know if he would have survived another day with his oh-so-beloved family. Still, he can at least stay for one more meal. This may come as a surprise, Five Claw, but Raz has never been particularly fond of small-town life. The first opportunity this one had to leave, he took it. He still remembers that day, and is very thankful for it. Let's just say that it involved a certain high elf noble seeking adventure, 3 bottles of whiskey, and a small fire. Well, a large fire. But it was quickly contained. Irene certainly wasn't a queen back then. But Raz speaks too much, no? Perhaps he will tell you the tale another time, when there is far more wine and far fewer mothers about.
Don't mind me. Soon as Razumdar is ready to leave, I'll be out of your hair.
Asaldak understands why you would want to approach him, but he only signs autographs at special events, and he only talks to his admirers at the... Actually, he never talks to his admirers.
Must have been drawn by the scent of my rising dough. And don't be shy about staring at Rigard's muscles as he stirs. Did you bring the honey flowers? If there's one thing Rigard knows about the cats, they love their sweets. Nonsense! Rigard's belly doesn't care if mead or meat is swallowed first, so why should a mixing bowl be any different, huh? Rigard has gone far in life by treating every situation like he treats his belly. Give Rigard the flowers and he will add them. I saw Asaldak, the famous Khajiit sweet maker by the Merryvale Farms fountain. Ask him to try my sweetbread. His endorsement will change the Khajiiti belief that Nords only eat frozen potatoes and inspire a pastry-based esteem between our cultures.
Asaldak understands why you would want to approach him, but he only signs autographs at special events. Asaldak was once invited to Skyrim to try their so-called delicacies, but declined due to a disdain for cold weather. And bad food, and Nords in general. Asaldak will try this Nord sweetbread for a laugh. Tell him Asaldak will be there shortly. This Nord better be finished with his cooking by the time Asaldak arrives. Asaldak does not like to be kept waiting. Because, unlike you, I spent time mastering my craft instead of asking stupid questions. Asaldak redefined food in Elyswer. He was personal chef to the main. He has prepared food for many slobbering Nords, but has never seen one cook anything edible.
Rigard's sweetbread turned out better than expected. It's perfectly brown and tough enough to break a mammoth tooth. Everything should be tough. Our teeth can't grow stronger if we don't challenge them with unyielding treats. When Rigard was a baby, his mother had him suck on rocks to comfort his sore gums. Now his bite is strong enough to snap a bristleback's tusk. It's an honor to meet you, Asaldak. On behalf of Yoren Skald King, please enjoy Windhelm's famous sweetbread.
Did you bring the bread with you from Skyrim? It's hard as a rock.
Harder than a rock. Rigert made some improvisations to the original recipe.
It doesn't smell too wretched. Asaldak will attempt to take a bite without breaking a tooth.
What do you think? Impressive? Delicious? Ferocious?
Atrocious. Why is it filled with flowers? Why are the flowers covered in dirt? Why are there insects in the dirt? How did you make something so terrible?
Did you hear that, friend? Asaldak wants to know Rigert's recipe. I'm sure he'll return after he wins his digestive battle. Find the screaming mammoths at Valenwood Gate, so they can play for Lady Isa. We are finally on the verge of making peace!
Could you please stop stomping around like that? My head is pounding enough as it is. Sure as bones. We never should have eaten those sugar cakes. Rachin sugar cakes. Our manager, Bakargo, tried to warn us about them, but what kind of band would we be if we paid attention to warnings? Ah, Rigert. The last time I felt this bad was when I tried to beat him in a mead drinking contest. We don't want to let him down, but we can hardly stand, let alone give a performance worthy of the Screaming Mammoths. He needs someone to play, but that someone doesn't need to be the Screaming Mammoths. Take our instruments and sing the song yourself. That cat will...
You?
Thank you for stopping, Walker. You seem to be a traveler of some strength, no? Strong enough to help save this one's companions? They are trapped in the nearby oasis, surrounded by walking corpses and deadly fumes. Yes, this one is lucky to have made it out alive, but her companions, not so lucky. Ioka sent Palina to seek aid. He wishes to research the fumes in order to make an antidote, but needs help to do so. He is closer to the ruins, tending to one of our companions. Speak to him to learn more. He is the green one, with many scales. Hard to miss in a land of few Argonians, no?
You have come to Cicatrice in a time of great danger, traveler friend. Toxic fumes permeate the air, and corpses walk among the ruins. It is best to turn away now before you share the fate of my dear companions. We were exploring the nearby oasis caverns when the fumes first began to spread. Only Najira and I were able to escape. The rest of my companions, weakened and disoriented by the poisoned air, ran farther into the caverns of the oasis. I would need to first create an antidote. However, I require samples from corpses that have absorbed the fumes. No easy task, given that something has awoken Cicatrice's dead. They now guard the ruins from any invaders. Thank you for the aid, traveler friend. The undead walk the ruins of Cicatrice, directly to the west. I would advise caution.
She doesn't want us here.
Everything in flames. Just a cold, nothing more, nothing more.
Najira will go alone. She will not sit idle while her friends suffer.
Please, don't be foolish. Najira, wait. I am glad to see you unharmed. Were you able to gather the samples? She fears for our companion's safety. I urged her to wait, for without an antidote she will quickly succumb to the fumes as well. But Najira refused to listen. I must begin my research. However, I still require a blossom of Arkay's lash. A cactus with a bright pink flower. It has great medicinal properties. Would you collect a blossom for me? The cactus can be found west of here, in a small glade atop a crag. In the meantime, I'll begin to study the samples you brought. Thank you once more for your aid, traveler friend. After I create an antidote, we can enter the Oasis caverns and rescue my companions. Perhaps even find my Eggmother's research notes as well. When the Nahatan flu devastated Cicatrice, its people fled into the safety of the nearby oasis. They hoped that its healing waters could cure them of the disease. This effort was led by Nikusha, my Eggmother. Yes, it is by her letters that I know of Cicatrice's suffering. She was a talented alchemist, and hoped to develop a cure for the flu. However, this was many years ago. I do not believe she was successful. I hope to find my mother's research and share her findings. It's very likely she died here, trying to help those who had been so cruelly abandoned. Her great deeds should be shared with all of Elyswer. Once, the town of Cicatrice was a cool blessing within the scalding desert. The oasis beneath the town was clear, and many believed it had power to heal their ailments. The town prospered from these many visitors and the trade they bought. When the Nahatan flu came to Elyswer, many hoped that the oasis would heal them. They traveled here seeking hope, but brought their ailment with them. The town was quickly overcome with this sickness. Many died. They could not. The reigning monarchs quarantined infected towns in order to stop the disease from spreading. Cicatrice was eventually burned to the ground. And so, its people fled to the oasis. Their fate, however, is still unknown to me.
How dare you intrude upon my oasis! Leave this place! Now!
Yes, this should do it. My antidote is nearly complete. All I need now is the Arcay's Lash Blossom. Were you able to get one? A Nereid? Most peculiar. I wonder if she's somehow connected to the Oasis. But there is no time to speculate while my companions are still in danger. I must deliver this antidote to them. With luck, it will give them the strength to escape. Thank you, traveler friend. I feared to ask, but already you volunteer. Make sure to drink some of the antidote before entering the Oasis caverns. And please, see if you can find my Egg Mother's research notes. My antidote is nearly... A Nereid? Thank you, traveler. My Egg Mother attempted to develop a cure for the Nahatan flu when it first struck Cicatrice. I am sure she kept meticulous notes about her progress. Such research will be vital to learning what... Here you are, traveler friend. Let us hope this potion has the desired effect.
You must leave here now. The very air is poisonous. Iokas, I knew he would not abandon us. You must hurry. My companions ran deeper into the caves. Let them know that I'll remain here, ready to tend to them. I will be all right. The fumes have weakened me, but not as much as the others. A blessing of my Argonian blood. I just need to rest a moment more. Najira should have listened to Iokas. Thank you for saving this foolish one, Walker. She should not have returned.
Is anyone there? Thank you, stranger. This one will find her way out.
Bungie to die here. Did Iokas make this? Bungie must thank him.
It's not the fumes. I heard someone in the central chamber.
It is all right, Laratan. I believe you. Thank you for saving my companions. Were you also able to find my Eggmother's research notes? They would be invaluable to learning what occurred here. Thank the Hist. I was worried her research would be lost forever. She writes of a Nereid who lives here, and how her research tainted the oasis. I see. This must be the root of all the despair we have encountered. The Nereid once made this oasis a place of healing, but by filling these caverns with sickness and death, it drastically changed her. She must be the one who created these fumes and raised these corpses. I'm afraid that the Nereid must be killed. She poses a threat to all who visit Cicatrice, and by raising the dead she has defiled many. Her death, Hist willing, will also allow this oasis to finally begin to heal. With your help, my Eggmother's terrible mistake can finally be mended. Thank you, traveler friend. For now, I'll lead my companions back to camp. Nereids are inherently linked to the body of water they inhabit. The plague victims stayed within these caverns for weeks. Slowly, they tainted the purity of the oasis. What was once a place of healing became a place of sickness and death. Precisely. As the clear waters of this oasis grew polluted, so too did her spirit. Once, the Nereid healed those who came to her. Now she seeks to infect and kill. She embodies the very plague which tainted her. I'm afraid it will still take many years to fully heal the oasis. But killing the Nereid will begin that process. Without her to create the fumes and raise corpses, the oasis has a chance to finally be cleansed.
Why couldn't you leave me? I just want... No! I won't let anyone disrupt this oasis! Not again! I just...
Good. I was afraid of this. It does my heart good to see you unharmed. I trust the Nereid suffers no longer? In a way, I did learn what happened here. My egg mother sought to create a cure for the plague. Instead, she corrupted the oasis with sickness and death. Everyone in Cicatrice died as a result of that corruption. But I did not journey to Cicatrice to seek her good intentions. There has been much animosity between the Khajiit and Argonian races because of the Nahatan flu. My people are immune to the disease, so many believe we created it. Through her research and sacrifice, I had hoped to bridge the gap between our people, prove that Argonians are not the cold-blooded monsters so many see us as. But sharing what happened at Cicatrice may only strengthen the Khajiit's hatred. I do not know. I must reflect on this. Still, I thank you for all that you've done. You saved my companions, found my egg mother's research, and helped the oasis begin to heal. No small feats to accomplish, traveler friend. May your path be easy and your footsteps sure. I suspect both the fumes and the undead will linger for quite some time. Have no worries, though. I will make sure that its dangers are known to Elyswer. Hopefully, an effort can one day be made to cleanse it completely. The Khajiit look up to their skies and see dragons soaring overhead. They look across their fields and see bloody battles raging. They have not the time nor resources to cleanse this oasis. The Nereid was the source of the corruption. It was her power that created toxic fumes and raised the undead. Kept alive, she would continue to do so. Now, the oasis can begin to heal. It may take decades, centuries even, but it will heal. The foul wind of our misfortune has turned into a gentle breeze. My companions are recovering well. I will monitor them closely for the next few days and see how they progress. For now, they merely need to rest. How are our companions, Laratan?
All is well, egg brother. Your antidote has helped them immensely.
That's good to hear.
Iokas, were you able to find your mother's research notes?
Yes. Our traveler friend was able to collect them.
And what did they say? What happened to Cicatrice?
Let us speak of that after you've recovered. For now, you need to rest.
Have you found one of my master's treasures? He's always interested in reclaiming what is rightfully his. Really? You look surprisingly sane for someone who's touched all 3 bottles. You must be incredibly resistant to... Well, it's none of my business. I cannot thank you enough. My master will be very pleased. I hope you didn't run into any trouble. Just one. The last person who returned these bottles found them under a pile of corpses. He was so affected by the wine that he purportedly spent the rest of his existence atop that mass of bodies. Fortunately, you seem to be immune to the curse. My master is a connoisseur of cursed collectibles. Wine, jewelry, paintings, people. Here is your reward. If you find more cursed items, please bring them here. I still hope that if his collection grows large enough, he'll no longer need me in it. Thank you again for returning my master's wine. If someone brings me the rest of his cursed collectibles, he might finally let me leave this place. I stole a cursed book from my master, and was punished by being trapped in this exact place, waiting to receive other stolen items. I've stared at this same wall of rocks for years, dreaming of using my legs again, if only to jump from this cliff. Never say his name, stranger. His name is more horrible than any curse.
You cut a striking figure, Walker. There are... you again. How goes your holy work? Then the King of Thieves was watching over you! Let's see, Yes, this will do. Yes. Fine offerings for Rajin. Do not forget yourself when dividing spoils, or Rajin will think you a fool. Good thieves always take their cut. I bless you in the name of the sleek shadow! Fortune and fame are yours to the taking! Is Rajin a god? Do gods not have those who spread word of their deeds? This one is but a humble servant to a more deserving master. Of course, sneak one. This one does not need a temple to bend his god's ear. He will gladly ask for Rajin's favor on your behalf for a humble offering. Or perhaps you wish to hear a sermon. This one can provide objects of faith as well. Come closer, Walker. And this one will regale you with a tale of Rajin. Long ago, on a night of new moons, the dark was so thick that shadows stretched to oblivion. No one dared to brave the night, but one crafty thief. He chose to walk the strands. Just so. On this night, they stretched through the lunar lattice and led the thief toward the faint glimmer of the stars, except the dancing lights were not the stars, but twilight caught in a realm of spun silver. Within, silky voices argued. This one saw nothing, though the wind in these canyons can play tricks. Now, where was I? He waited, patiently, quietly, as the princess talked in circles, learning all he could. Then, when the time was right, he stepped out from the shadows and announced himself. This one knows the night like no other. He would be honored to choose. Risky, for certain. 2 princes, sisters he could see, regarded the thief coolly. But the spinner of the silver web looked upon him hungrily. You are a little touch, little fly, but foolish to come buzzing into the spider's web. Me? No, I am not so skilled a thief as to fleece a favorite of Rajin. Though if something is missing, he may have shown you his disfavor for interrupting his tale. Best we continue. A secret kept, a secret gained. Very well. Now, where did we... Seeing now that the thief was one of her chosen people, the Prince Azura stayed Mafala's hand. By your admission, this one knows the night better than any other. Who better to decide? Or do you fear the truth will be too ugly? All three princes agreed that the thief was a most worthy lover of the night. And each told him why they were obviously the best choice. When all was said and done, the thief knew his decision. Knowing she was as vain as she was dangerous, the thief approached Mafala and heaped on her great flattery. My prince, it was the night itself that led this lover to his mistress, so that he could steal a kiss. And so the thief embraced the night. And more so, the thief deftly ran his hands about Mafala, purring sweet nothings in her ear, until his fingers touched upon the thing that really caught his eye, a ring on the finger of her 8th arm. Slipped it from her finger without the slightest notice. Such was the lightness of his caress and the skill of his tongue, and placed it on his own. With that, the thief was vanished, and the legend of Rajin, the purring liar, was born. What else may this humble servant of a king of thieves? One of your faithful seeks your favor. This one humbly begs you spare a fraction of your ample sleekness for their benefit. Ah! There is a fresh glow about you. Ha ha ha! You jest!
Are you? Did Caldathir send you? Well, don't even try to stop me. Oh, well then, greetings. My name is Naramako, and I intend to walk right into this spooky cave and find the works of a brilliant Khajiiti mage. Before you ask, yes, it is full of slavering, undead, and yes, I am petrified to the point of weeping. You mean to help? Well, I guess there's no harm in delegating. According to my research, a powerful wizard named Marzulajo used this place as his laboratory. If you find his notes and any memory stones he might have left behind, I would be indebted. Thank you for looking into this, Walker. I can't wait to rub this discovery in that sour-tongued Kaldathir's face. It's always, be careful with this and don't meddle with that. He's just a fat old bully. My high elf alchemy professor. And a heartless, saggy-faced brute. I'm a member of the Mages Guild, you see. To progress, I have to show proficiency in potion making and such. He's a meanie! Every potion we make includes some terrible reagent, like a baby newt or a sweet little toad. I don't even like to hurt fleas, let alone innocent amphibians. According to my research, Marzulajo had a great fondness for animals, just like me. He even discovered ways to bring them back to life. At least I think he did. Fuzzy on the details. Anyway, his notes and memory stones should hold the answers. Yes! You're not going to scold me like Kaldathir, are you? It's just a frog. A single hoppy little frog. What harm could that do? Anyway, he's the one who made me kill the poor thing. And for what? A water-breathing potion? I can't even swim! I mean, sort of. Well, guild regulations clearly state that manipulating white souls, the lesser souls of beasts, is completely fine. True, the bylaws don't explicitly endorse putting little white souls into frog skeletons, but they don't prohibit it either. It's called the Abode of Ignominy. Say that 5 times fast. I did a bit of research before I set out, but I didn't find much. A few cryptic references to a temple that collapsed into a sinkhole or some such. Well, when the name includes the word ignominy, it's a safe bet that it's nothing good. I found a reference or two to Mafala, the clan mother of dark secrets. Probably something to do with her. Ooh, gives me the shivers.
here! No! Stop it this instant, please! I can fix this. I just need to paint a restraining word to... Stop! What are you doing, Zorir? No, 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 no! No! Don't do that! Don't do... Ah! Now, this is a little unorthodox, but I just felt horrible about what happened. Bringing you back to life is an imperfect solution, I know, but I am confident you'll get used to this, new beginning. never intended... What did I do wrong? This isn't you, sweet boy. This isn't you. Sugar Snout, my sweet boy. I don't... It's not fair. You were so young. So young. I'm going to fix this, boy. I'm going to bring you back. I promise.
Not that I had any doubts, mind you. So, success? Did you find Marzula Joe's notes and memory stones? A Sench tiger? That's remarkable! If he managed that, the frog should present no challenge at all. Thank you so much, Walker. When I publish about this, I'll be sure to mention your contribution. I can't wait to see the look on Kaldathir's face. I wonder how long after death you can perform these rituals. Do you think they would work on something smaller, like a mosquito? So many questions. Oh, let's not overreact. Advanced spellcraft is as much an art as it is a science. Sure, he may have encountered a few bumps along the way, but that's to be expected. I won't fall into the same traps. Trust me.
I'll say this about Elyswer. It's never boring. I know...
An Imperial garrison housed in a Khajiiti estate. My half-sister spared no expense, I see. Prefect Kaitou commands a full complement of soldiers, mostly seasoned Imperials and not the Nibonese mercenaries that make up Euraxia's main forces. It's probable that Sorlinia and her assassination squad is here as well, so I advise caution. I prefer to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, of course, but these are enemy forces. We must do what we must to complete our mission. I'll work my way down from the upper levels of the house. You find your own entrance and we'll meet somewhere inside. Try not to alert the entire garrison to our presence, and keep an eye out for Captain Sorlinia or anything related to Euraxia's final order. We need to determine where the assassination squad plans to strike if we're going to save the Dragonguard.
Light it up!
Time to make me a fur coat. One of Kailou's pet cats. Time to make me a fur coat. One of Kailou's pet cats. Time to make me a fur coat.
How good of you to join me. Let's talk. We need to speak quickly. I doubt I'll remain undiscovered for very long. This projection, a simple spell. Nothing to it, really. But that's not what I want to discuss. I'm hiding in an empty servant's quarters at the moment. I discovered that Prefect Kaitou is no longer in charge here. In fact, he's been arrested. That's the thing. Prefect Kaitou isn't really one of the Euraxians. His cohort of Imperials accompanied my half-sister into Rimmon, but he's been a vocal opponent of her coup and subsequent claim of rulership. Apparently, he refused another order. Kaito's probably being held on one of the lower levels. See if you can find him. He should be able to tell us more about the Dragonguard and Solinia's orders. Wait a moment. I'm about to have company. I'll find my way to you as soon as I can.
Interesting.
Burn it!
Mercenaries. I'm Prefect Kaitou, commander of the Cygnus Irregulars. And you're that outsider working with the Khajiit militia. I expected you hours ago. Well, let's not dawdle. You have an assassination squad to stop, I assume, so if you'd open my cell? It's elementary. I pay attention to every significant event that occurs in the region. Comes with my job description. I have agents, spies, and informers from Riverhold to Rimmon. The dossier on you could choke a Wamasu. Now, about this door... I'm an Imperial without an Emperor. My cohort was assigned to accompany Euraxia on a fact-finding mission. She turned it into a conquest. I tried to temper her more violent tendencies, but her mercenaries outnumber my legionaries by a wide margin. I refused a direct order. Wouldn't give Solinia my soldiers or my file on the last Dragonguard. So, here I am. How about this? You can find a copy of the report in my office. If the information it contains helps you, then come back and set me free. I'm a reasonable man. I have no great love for this land, but neither do I want to see it destroyed. Dragons were the last straw. In other words, this is me making a stand. You can find a copy of the Dragonguard report in my office upstairs. She burst into my office with orders from Euraxia, demanded I provide soldiers to support her assassination squad, then commanded that I turn over my file on this so-called last Dragonguard. I politely refused both requests, and she had me arrested. An elite unit of mercenaries. They're rabid dogs that Euraxia points at her enemies. They like to kill, and they're extremely good at it. With the urging of the dragons, she pointed them at their current target, the so-called last Dragonguard. Well, that puts a new spin on the situation. Solenia took my file. Then she and her soldiers went to assassinate the supposed last Dragonguard to appease Euraxia's dragon allies. There's a copy of the file in my office, but I suggest you hurry. Conquer Rimmon? Euraxia was sent on imperial business to a province that owed us fealty. There was no reason to conquer a place we historically controlled. No, she decided to make her own play for power while Emperor Varen was otherwise engaged. It was complicated. Look, our quick visit turned into an invasion. Euraxia contracted an army of Nibonese mercenaries to back her up. And then the Emperor disappeared and his empire collapsed. We were stuck here without orders or assistance. Not much. I never got around to reviewing the report. You can read it yourself in my office. For some reason, this rumor of a last Dragonguard inspired Euraxia's ire. Maybe because the legends say they were once renowned dragon hunters? I see you found the report. Now we can continue our conversation without being separated by those inconvenient bars.
Ah, there you are. And I see you've captured Prefect Kaitou. I presume he surrendered without a fight?
Don't look so shocked. My irregulars are very good at what they do. It was simple enough for them to sneak in and set me free. Now, what did you learn from the report? Anything that will help us stop Captain Solenia and her assassination squad? As I said, we were never willing participants in Euraxia's conquest of northern Elyswer. My irregulars did as little as possible to advance her agenda, and we worked to sabotage it as often as not. Besides, have you forgotten about the dragons? The dragons won't stop after they kill or subjugate the Khajiit. We're in as much danger as everyone else. If Lord Garesh-Ri pardons my soldiers, we'll help fight the dragons. But we're going to need the Dragonguard. Do you know where he is? Grand Chancellor, I propose that you get Garesh-Ri to pardon the Cygnus Irregulars so we can form an alliance.
An alliance? Interesting. Comrades would be helpful in the battles to come. I'll return to Rimmon, plead Kaitou's case, and send someone to help you. Meanwhile, I suggest you start your search for the shrine at the Stitches.
to make me a fur coat.
Don't give us any trouble.
Welcome back, friend. Rigord found Lady Isa. She's not as talkative as the women in Windhelm, but she's quite classy. Rigord is sure a Nord ballad will convince her to help make peace between the Nords and Khajiit. Where are the Screaming Mammoths? The Screaming Mammoths let you touch their instruments? Rigord tried to touch them after a performance in Nibelheim, and his brain still aches from the pummeling. Definitely Rigord's favorite head injury. Why did they give you their instruments? Rigord can be an official Screaming Mammoth? He can play the instrument of legendary lutist Frongir Half-Giant? Did Rigord drink a barrel of mead and find himself in a land made of dreams? These are honest questions. Rigord gets confused. Rigord's mind explodes like the top of Mount Vardenfell. Drinking mead with the mammoths was one thing, but playing their instruments is beyond Rigord's wildest imaginings. We will play Lady Isa the best ballad Elyswer has ever heard. Oh, your eyes shine like glowing mushrooms in glomerage, and you're sturdy as a mountain goat's hoof-fed feet. We should meet to drink mead and eat wolf meat.
Why are you singing to my house cat, Luna?
Lady Isa? Rigord has logical explanation. You have great influence with the Khajiit, so Rigord wanted to impress you with his song. But first, he had to practice on your cat, because he's like a tiny you.
It's difficult to imagine anything sadder than a confused Nord clutching a lute. Lady Isa is going to pretend that Ambassador Rigord did not just confuse her with a house cat. Your friend is the one who should apologize. His attempts at diplomacy have already offended Justo and sickened Al-Sadak. Fortunately for you, Lady Isa is convinced that Ambassador Rigord's intent is pure. She even brought him a peace offering. Rigord must be rewarded for his comical yet well-intentioned mission to improve relations between the Nords and Khajiit. Lady Isa brought an honorary collar and bell. He will wear it everywhere in Elyswer, so we can always know when he is near.
No, but we can all see that Ambassador Rigert is very special. This one presents him with this dignified and stylish reward.
Lady Isa is eager to use her influence to bring peace between the Nords and Kashyyyk, isn't she? Nothing solves problems better than a traditional Nord love ballad. Except for mead. A collar and bell made to fit Rigert's rippling neck? Rigert will jingle it with pride. Please accept this gift, friend. Rigert could not have made peace between the Nords and Kashyyyk without you. This song is dedicated to Rigert's favorite diplomatic assistant, and Lady Isa, and that house cat, and increased peace between the Nords and Kashyyyk. Oh yeah, and mead!
Lady Isa will do her best to make peace between the Nords and Kashyyyk, just so you can make your way back to Skyrim.